Merry Christmas, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Part 2, the sequel continued.
Damn it, Roger. I had just taken a sip of water and I almost sprayed it everywhere. Yes, Part 2, the sequel, a podcast where we watch movies with some friends, discuss it, and then think up a sequel that is probably already happening.
That's right, Santa's little helper. I am your roommate, Santa Claus.
And I'm your roommate, not Santa Claus.
Yes! Anyway, okay, this week we have, it's Christmas, guys. It's the Christmas episode. This week we have a new roommate. New roommate, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jett on the internet. I have a YouTube channel called Jett Kuso, where I make nostalgia-based toy content.
Nostalgia-based toy content.
Nostalgia bait. I'm trying to trick people and use their emotions for my own monetary gain.
Now that makes it sound like you're on there and you're just like you're showing them old TMNT cartoons, and then out of nowhere you're like, and now let me tell you about finances.
Hey kids, you want to look at some JPEGs of Trix yogurt?
Sounds like my kind of channel.
What kind of toys do you bait with? Well, that's
I was.
Yeah.
I like to make videos.
Sorry.
I like to make videos about. I was very focused on the toy battling brand Bakugan for a long time, but I've started to branch out in my content a little bit into like hex bugs, Bionicle, just all kinds of whatever you remember from your past. That's the kind of stuff that I like to focus on with way over edited videos.
I always took you for a oh god, I already forgot the name of it. What was the last thing you just said?
Do you think I was a Beyblade man? Are you going to accuse me of being a Beyblade man, Xavier?
No. The one you just said, the last one you said. Dang it, I feel so stupid now that I completely forgot. That's how this podcast goes, by the way. No,
Bionicle?
Bionicle, there we go. I took you for Bionicle Kid.
Oh yeah, buddy.
Now I noticed some stank being put on Beyblade. What's going on there?
Beyblade is fine. I got nothing against Beyblade. I just get a lot of comments asking me to make a Beyblade video, and I can't think up much to say about the tops. There's so many other great Beyblade channels, I don't think I could add to the discourse.
Okay.
And there's discourse, man. It's ongoing.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't know anything about that. Let's see. Just another question about what you do. Out of all the toys that you showcase, which ones would you say, in your opinion, taste the best?
Ooh, it's gotta. The hilarious thing is, I've been asked this question before.
No way.
It's gotta be the Walmart exclusive Platinum Dragonoid strength mode. I don't whichever one has clear plastic. It's a nice cherry red. And it's sort of like a Tide Pod. It doesn't actually provide any extra flavor. It just looks like it would be so appetizing that you can have sort of a psychosomatic effect going on.
Sure. Your brain is kind of making up the flavor that you think it should be.
Yes, which is what all flavor technically is, just also with chemical stimuli.
Wow. And with that really deep pull, let's talk about this movie that we watched. Normally Xavier would pull out a one-sentence description of the movie, but he did inform me right before we started that he did not do that. Xavier, do you just want to improv one out?
Sure. This week we watched Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, a very misleading title for a film about, I don't really know what. It's a B movie from the 60s, and it definitely reflects that era. Man, Jett,
I can give it a shot.
Yeah, you want to try?
Yeah, you go for it. We've never done this.
The communist Martians are upset at their children being corrupted by consumerist American television because their children are all very sad. So they decide to change their ways and go to Earth, kidnap Santa Claus, and bring him to stay on Mars and be a Mars Santa Claus. A shocking amount of interwoven personal drama happens between the Martians because they are the protagonists of the film and not Santa Claus.
Yes. That that was a very deep look into that
Yeah.
I was just taking this at face value. I completely forgot about when this movie was made, and the subtext of like communism definitely is there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely so. There are other kind of weird messages throughout the movie that I thought they were going to go with.
Yeah.
Like, children are becoming lazy because they watch too much TV, but it turns out that's not at all what they were doing.
That's
in
the
fact,
thing.
They encourage it later on, too.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was going to be like a criticism of, like, either consumerism or communism. But it doesn't really do either. It sort of synthesizes varying ideas across the spectrum.
Yeah. See, I think this was a coming out story, but just kind of, yeah. I'm not going to go into that. So, in this podcast, oh, by the way, everybody, this one might run a little long. It is the Christmas special. We've worked with Jett before. We have a lot to talk about. So just keep that in mind moving forward. If this goes over an hour, don't panic. Don't come after us. And also, spoiler alert. Sound the alarm! Jett, give us your best spoiler alert alarm. That's a new one.
Okay.
Spoilers are imminent. Take cover within your designated chambers.
Oh, thank you, Zordon.
I think
Rangers take cover.
Rangers.
Spoiler alert.
I think Discord cut off like a good chunk of the beginning of that, but like
It was a
I can't
fun
wait
noise.
to hear it whenever we
We
get all this
edited.
audio together. Yeah.
Yeah, it was sort of like a slowed down tornado siren noise. It's fun.
It's perfect. So the first question I have for you folks, Jett, we normally we try to recap the movie via questions. That way we're not just talking about the movie. And my first question, like always, is can you name all of the characters you remember? Hey, before we do this, I know you want to jump to it. Most of these names are aliens. Just please keep that in mind, dear audience. Now,
I tell you what, I don't remember any of them. I
That's
remember
perfect,
Santa
then.
Claus and Billy. Any of the Martians, not a clue because they were
You
all
could just give them 2-syllable sounds,
Boba,
and that would cover it.
Gouda. I don't know.
I took down such elaborate notes. I won't use them to cheat through most of these questions. I deeply want to name all of the Martians, though.
Okay,
There's also
then
too many characters as well. Like at least 10 Martians who all have different names that are all just random crap that somebody pulled out of the toilet and was like, threw it at a typewriter.
A very popular issue we have on this show where we watch movies that have too many characters. This movie had a lot of characters that are introduced once and like really never talked about again.
I
But
got
Jett,
them all down, man.
Jett, please name all of the characters you remember.
On the Martians, we've got Beamot, Lomos, Voldar, Kimar, Rigna, Dropo, Cargo, Kimar's wife, Momar, their children, Bomar and Gurmar, the ancient one of Mars who was 800 years old, Chochum, who is your favorite Martian. We've got the children protagonists, Billy and Betty Foster. We've got Santa Claus. We've got Mrs. Claus. And we've got Winky, the elf in charge of the space department.
Holy crap. You are the first person on this show's history to ever do that. I am astonished right now.
I am an overachiever.
Now, there's one extra one that I know you missed.
Oh no.
Do you remember the reporter's name that interviews Santa in the beginning?
No, you got me.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I remember
Oh, wait,
he was
Mr.
a reporter.
Anderson.
His name is Mr. Anderson.
Excellent.
I just remember
he
that
was a
because
reporter.
Anderson Cooper. That's literally the only reason I remember that.
He was a reporter for Kid TV, which somehow knows about Santa and can just get
Yeah.
an exclusive.
Yeah, there's a casual like a, I don't know how to say this properly, a cavalierousness, that's not right, that the world sees around Santa Claus in the beginning of the film. Actually, let's just go into question one. In the beginning of the movie, it opens up with some Martian children watching an Earth news program where a reporter was doing what, where? Jett?
He was a reporter for Kid TV with an exclusive interview with Santa Claus. At first I thought this was like on Christmas Eve, but I think it was based on the timeline of the film, just like in the middle of the year.
I think they specified as beginning of December.
Beginning of December, yeah. But
Thank you.
That specified later with a conversation with Chochim. Xavier, do you have anything to elaborate on that?
No, it's just an interview with Santa Claus and a very awkward end to that interview with Mrs. Claus getting all hot and bothered about being on TV.
Yeah,
It's so bizarre.
She's
the
like
most
late to the
awkward bit of
party.
the
She
whole
doesn't
movie, honestly.
see the camera crew, and she's like, "We're on TV."
She loves
Yeah.
the camera. Yeah, that's a great impression. Spot on.
Thank you.
It's very much like you can tell that this was the era when people started taking movies a little more seriously, and that's why we had all these B movies getting made, and they could only afford to get like stage actors to come be in this, and so there's a ton of overacting in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's made very relevant by the volume of the speaking,
Mm-hmm.
trying to be drowned out by the volume of the music. There was a competition. There was an auditory, like,
A
battle
war of sorts.
happening. Yeah,
Like a,
I was
like a
gonna
game
say-
of Splatoon.
I was gonna say a gladiator, but I forgot what those are called. What do you like a Colosseum fight? What are those called?
Whoa, you hit the limits of my knowledge so quick.
Huh.
Moving on.
Yeah. So yeah, the answer is he's interviewing Santa as one of his elves. No, as his elves know more than they let on. One elf is making a toy rocket that uses real rocket fuel. Which, hey, by the way,
Jesus
that's
Christ,
just a
yeah.
real rocket.
It's literally just a little explosive that you're handing to a child.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can call it a toy, but that's a real rocket you're making. There, Tinky or Winky or whatever his name was.
Winky. Yeah.
Winky.
Winky.
He's the head of the space department.
Yeah. Oh, he also
Yes,
makes.
and he absolutely knows what Martians look like.
Yeah. He
He made,
knows
like, an exact
way
replica of
more.
them. And then when they come
Um,
in, he's the one who's like, "Those are
Well, they're
Martians."
Yeah, duh, idiot. Look at him.
Let's put a pin in Winky because there's some serious sequel material with that freak
Okay.
and his deal.
Question 2. There are many struggles for Martian parents. Your kids don't want to eat their dehydrated food pills. They have trouble falling asleep, so you have to drug them. And don't even get me started on what they call music these days. But what is the newest issue that parents are facing with Martian children? Jett?
It's that they're watching too much Earth TV. If I recall correctly, they just
Alright.
can't get enough of the stuff.
Xavier?
I believe that's it because that's all I remember from that conversation. Although I will say there's a lot of lack of creativity in what these Martians' day-to-day lives look like. I
No
think
world building.
The most creative thing they did was make their food pills, which I believe are just jelly beans that they
Mhm.
used on set.
Hey,
But it's literally just like it's a hamburger pill
yeah,
or a chocolate fudge sundae pill. It's just Earth
Mm.
food. Like
mashed potatoes. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you have all those on Mars, huh?
Mhm.
You got all those?
you have a whole
Okay.
Thanksgiving feast in jelly
Your
bean
name is
form.
Flomar, and you're eating a hamburger? Okay. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, they have the debilitating habit of watching Earth programs on their tube televisions. Tube televisions.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing
This
they
is
have is
yeah.
television tubes.
And
CRTV.
are
Who knows?
and for some reason the kids are being made lethargic because of it. But we'll kind of get into that with the next question, which is number 3. The Martian leader Kimar
Kimar, head of
gathers
the
his
Council of Chiefs.
Yes. Well, I wrote gathers his council of daddies to find the solution to their kids' melancholy. Who do they seek the counsel of, and what is his answer? Jett.
Chochim, who lives at Chochim's chair in Thunder Palace. He's the 800-year-old ancient one of Mars. and the best character in the film.
For all of 3 minutes.
Yes.
He is like
Although 3 minutes is a bit too
Christopher
much, too.
Walken in Pulp Fiction. Just like shows
Yes.
up, delivers an iconic momentary performance, and then never appears again.
Yeah.
Except this guy's what was his name? I'm terrible. Jett, you'll see. I will not remember anybody's names even after I've been told.
Right.
But this ancient one, everything he says sounds so creepy and sexual, and I was so on edge the whole time he was talking.
He had it was a very comedic performance. Like I don't think on purpose, but like a lot of the time he was just like, oh, like the meter in which he took was, the peaks and valleys were way too extreme.
He
sounds
sounds
like
like
he might
Geddy
have-
Lee from Rush for a second.
No,
we need Santa Claus.
that's
It
fucking
literally sounds like
hilarious.
this guy had something up his butt the whole time he was doing this scene. It's probably part of his
Yeah.
method
yeah.
acting.
But what was his answer to the kids being lethargic from TV?
They need-
Well, it was an amazing speech about how we implant our children with machines in the cradle, and they're fed information constantly, moment to moment, and then by the time they can walk, they're already adults mentally. So they're children. They didn't have a childhood. We need. What month is it?
Oh, yeah.
September. on Mars.
October. Oh,
That
that's right.
was-
It's December 5th on Earth or something like that.
Uh-huh.
That was
Oh.
almost a question. Was what month is it in space? September
September.
was the answer.
They couldn't even think up just a
No.
month. They had to combine two.
No, yeah, and he's like, we need to give our children a childhood. They need Santa Claus. Go to Earth, steal the fat man, and return.
Xavier, I feel like you're not gonna get a whole lot of airtime in this episode.
And I'm just gonna be ranting through most of it.
Let's see. So yeah, they visit ancient Chochim. Ancient, by the way, which means 800 years old. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He explains that the reason they're watching TV so much is because on Earth it's close to Christmas time. The children have they have child bodies but adult minds. They've never learned how to play. That they're rebelling
that's
against their adult minds. He says, we need Santa Claus on Mars, and then he fucking blows up. The mic drop for this character is that he explodes.
We could assume he's dead. He doesn't appear again.
He's no longer ancient. That man died.
It's like the way that Yoda dies in Empire. He just fades away, except it's just
if Yoda had died with an explosion in that little bed of his,
Just spattered.
that movie would have
with
won an
his pea
Oscar
soup.
in that bit.
absolutely yes. Speaking of dead Yoda, question number 4. Because there is only one Santa, obviously, and it's on Earth, they make a plan to bring Santa to Mars. So they go to Earth to do some recon. What are some of the hurdles they face while doing so? Jett?
Well, the was it the UN or just Earth governments are like looking at them with radar, so they use their radar box to shut off the radar signals, which is a convenient box in the middle of the bridge of the ship. They also have a hard time finding Santa Claus because there's so many Santa Clauses. With the Salvation Army ringing bells and in malls, and they think, well, which one do we get?
Okay, Xavier, there's...
I think their biggest hurdle was the 2 children who could possibly tell people that they saw
Ooh.
Martians.
Okay, so
True.
that's within the next question. There is one more hurdle that they face, and it's something that has directly interfered with their time in this spaceship.
Oh, Dropo?
Is it Dropo?
Dropo, there we go.
Who's in the radar box?
He was smuggling himself in the radar box. By the way, for the audience, Dropo is an idiot. Like he's
Mhm.
he's kind of this aloof character, the only childish character in the movie that. Hold on.
Even the children aren't as childish as this guy.
Yeah, wait,
No.
why is Dropo such a moron?
Just to
probably
be
his-
funny.
Probably his
they-
learning machine was glitchy as he was being cradle fed.
But then there's the other guy who comes in later. Obviously, I don't remember his name, but he was
Shim.
also supposed to be a just as much of a comedic relief as Dropo.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, it was Stomar,
Stobo.
who
No,
was
Stobo.
Stobo.
Yeah, Stobo
God
is
damn.
working alongside Shim. Well, we'll get there, I promise.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the children who they hold at gunpoint and told not to be
Xavier,
afraid.
wait till question 5.
Let me tell you, this guy Dropo, he's a real ding dong.
So
He's not a bright fellow.
Wait, quick fun fact: they wanted to remake this movie in '98 with Jim Carrey as Dropo, whatever the heck. And I would have paid to see that. I
yeah,
guess.
that would have been fantastic.
I would pay Jim Carrey to come to my house and do it.
You still can.
Yeah, you just get them the little green outfits and the helmet. And
Yeah.
So yeah, some of the hurdles they face, they see many Santa Clauses standing on street corners, in front of malls, what have you. But they agree that they only need one. They find Dropo has hidden himself inside of their radar box, and the Earth Air Force goes through a ton of stock footage. Like that seems to be
yes,
a pretty important part of the movie.
They're refueling up there.
Yeah, they're doing.
this is a year
something.
where stock footage could easily be put into.
Yeah,
The entire time I was watching this, I was like, "Wow, this looks so seamless," because everybody had like the same level of technology back then. And I'm thinking about like now, if I were to take my iPhone footage and put stock footage next to it, it would be like a vast difference
yeah,
between
huge
the two.
difference. Okay, Xavier, we can now talk about it. For question 5, for seemingly no reason, the Martians land in a random spot, I guess in a field on Earth, and they hold some kids at gunpoint, who are then told to not be scared. Who are these kids, and what do they know? Jett?
I'm pretty sure they blue skidooed them out of a greeting card. Because it's the most picturesque shot. The best shot in the movie is these kids laying here on the forest floor. It's Billy and Betty Foster, who are two random children who are whisked away and inform the Martians that there's only one Santa Claus at the North Pole.
See, the real
Alright.
question is, what were they doing in this field? Because Billy specifically says, "Let me sleep." So I
Yeah,
guess
I'm
he was
trying
just
to
trying to
sleep.
take a nap, and his sister was just sitting there reminiscing about
Their
Santa
parents,
Claus.
I
I
don't,
think.
I don't
I-
think their parents are ever mentioned, so I think they're two homeless orphans.
Probably because later on they're like, "Oh, the Martians realize they're sad, and they're like, 'Why are you sad?' And instead of being like, 'Because we miss our families and Earth,' they're just like, 'Oh, nothing's wrong.'" Nothing-
yeah,
that's
fine.
probably that scene alone contributed to depression in minors later.
It's
later in the years.
1968. We're not allowed to mention depression in movies right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, the answer is Billy and Betty Foster. They know where to find the real Santa and end up getting kidnapped because of it. So, question number 6: Dropo inevitably is in charge of watching these child prisoners and decides to bring them to the cockpit, even though he knows he's not supposed to. This provides Billy a chance to do what, Jett?
Well, they have to speedily hide in the radar box when the rest of the Martian crew starts to come back up to the bridge. Dropo dips, and the kids in the radar box overhear the plan to kidnap Santa Claus. So once the Martians finally leave the room, Billy rips out some wires from the radar box, removing their cloaking system, and leaving them vulnerable to tracking by the American military. The
Yeah,
UN, I think.
Xavier?
Is that right?
Yes. It gives them the chance to hear the plan and then very cautiously step in and out of this very cheaply made prop. Because that scene took like 5 minutes just of them lifting the lid and then slowly putting it back down. And then he disconnects like 2 wires out of the inside of it. And that's the whole scene.
Yeah, he really makes a parade out of ripping those wires out, huh?
I like how he's like, "Wait, hold on a second." And he goes back and he pulls the 2 cables. And he very slowly and gently lowers this lid and it's
Uh-huh.
like,
It was like,
okay,
You just
That's
ruined the
good. Let's
equipment.
go.
What are you being so ginger for?
yeah.
Cut, Billy.
I think-
Lower the lid down slower,
He
or the
mu-
glue will come off from the equipment in the top of the box. All right, action.
Our
I
prop
was gonna
master
say
just quit.
he must have like accidentally slammed it on one take and then gotten a beating between takes, and they were like, "Yeah, that'll teach you."
Yeah.
It's the 60s. There's no laws.
What I say about slamming doors, Billy?
You lost your cigarette
The
privileges.
joke was so good though.
Yes. I'm not gonna try to do it again.
No, I commend you for it. Question number 7. The kids escape the ship, but are stuck in the wilderness of the North Pole. What are 3 dangers that are after these kids, Jet?
There's the Martians who are looking for them, specifically the angry mustachioed buff as heck Martian.
Yeah, he is
Voldar.
actually super buff. Do you remember his name?
Voldar is like the antagonist Martian, basically, who's like grumpy and like not on board with all the stuff. He's like, we gotta kill these freaking kids. And then there's Torg, who is a robot that the Martians have that they send to find the kids. Torg is remarkably ominous, actually. Like a full-on, like...
Well, when you first see him, anyways, yeah. And then you watch him
with just the glowing
stumble
eyes.
between the fake mountains, and you're like, oh, okay.
He's a big, like, proper, like, cardboard box robot.
Exactly what you imagine, like, a robot from a
yeah.
B movie in the 60s to look
Yeah.
like. That's
Mhm.
what he looks like. He's the robot from that episode of SpongeBob where worlds collide, you know?
Yes! And no can hide.
Yes. Wow. Wow, do you got any more Patrick quotes for us?
I'll see if I can sprinkle them throughout.
Cool. Just for the audience at home, I know Patrick did not say that line, but the voice actor for Patrick does. So don't come after me.
Oh, and then there was someone straight out of the like time traveled from a furry convention in 2015. A man in a polar bear fursuit who
That was a
within the
man?
continuity-
That was the most
within the
realistic
continuity,
polar bear I've ever seen.
It's of course supposed to be an actual polar bear, but it is a man crawling around on all fours going rawr.
Yes.
The actor who played Billy could not keep a straight face while the polar bear was reaching for him.
Nor could I.
So I do want to give a shout out to Gene Lindsay. He did pass in 1998, but he was in that polar bear costume.
Oh my god. You found that?
It's on IMDb. He has a credit.
Oh heck yeah. All right,
If you
Gene,
look
good
through
job.
if you look through the pictures on IMDb, he has the polar bear has quite a few of those slots taken up. So
It must have been a marvel for them at the time. But yeah, so the answers I have here are the mean Martian and a polar bear and Torg, this robot. There is also a fourth answer, which is a ladder. A ladder being used to exit a spaceship. Hey, in cinema history, when has any spaceship ever used a ladder?
the day the Earth stood still.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No, I think it's a ramp. Yeah, because Gore.
No,
has to...
I know. I'm just I was
'Cause
making a joke. No,
it
I'm
is
sure
so
there are plenty in like, the 50s and
ungraceful
stuff.
to watch people in a line come down a ladder. Like,
And they show it all.
they show every second of it, baby.
Hey, that wasn't as tedious as the landing process when they got to
with the
Earth,
gears.
so, yes, and the one guy who pulls every single lever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine if on Doctor Who there was a 10-minute sequence every episode where the Doctor says what lever he's pushing, does so slowly, and then moves on to the next lever. That's what it was like anytime the ship did anything.
If you're watching David Tennant's Doctor, he hits every button in that room. Like,
oh yeah.
every episode.
Yeah, in the span of like 30 seconds.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of button pressing, question number 8. Fast forwarding a bit because some stuff happens. Obviously,
You've got good segues.
Santa gets kidnapped. Do y'all want to talk about that? Because we can.
Oh, when
Um,
the robot burst in, and he's like, "Wow, you're the best toy I've ever seen," and they're like, he's literally with just that one line. He's
blushing and
no, what is the word that they use?
he's become a toy.
He's rendered him a toy. And I'm like, really? And they just leave the robot there.
It's never brought up again, but this version of Santa has some kind of dominion over, like, the willpower of all machines.
And that's when we find out that the Martians' guns just temporarily freeze people.
They're specifically little, like, air vortex pop guns that are just an actual toy you can buy. There's a spring inside, you pull back a lever and pull the trigger, it just fires a little air vortex
like a little
out of
poof
it.
Of air, yeah.
And those were their, like, freeze you guns that they were just waving around like proper, know.
They had great trigger discipline with these things. But yeah, their guns have a stunning effect that are not permanent, right? They shoot two of the elves that work in the workshop.
Mm-hmm.
They shoot
one of
Mrs.
which
Claus.
it just like one of the elves just like pulls up a bat and is ready to go to town on these Martians.
I think that was Winky.
It was definitely Winky.
He's the same
he knows
one
what
like,
these Martians are capable of.
He's like, oh, those are Martians, and everyone's like, really? But
yeah, no, he definitely
such a bizarre
watched.
Scene.
He watched signs and knew exactly what he needed to do.
And then such a somber performance from Santa when he's like, did you have to do that? And they're like,
oh,
it's just temporary. He's like, oh,
well
then screw him.
Yeah.
Let me go back to your place.
Mrs. Claus
you're
is going to
do the
be
wife
very
too?
upset.
Yeah.
So yeah, they come in and they freeze all of the elves and Mrs. Claus. At which Santa makes a boomer wife joke. Like, she hasn't been this quiet in years.
Yeah.
But he sort of like just like sadly goes with the Martians as they steal him away.
Oh, sorry. Just to kind of catch everyone up on the kids get captured. They're taken back to the ship.
They can't let people know that Martians are taking Santa Claus.
Right. So they take the kids back to the ship. They bust into Santa's workshop. They kidnap Santa. I wanted to fast forward through all of that, but I mean, here we are. The Martians kidnap Santa, who is now a prisoner alongside the two. I wrote Billy and Betty, but my phone autocorrected to Ability and Betty. It is at this point that the Martians find out that they are being followed by a human spacecraft. But how? How could this be, Jett?
Well, it's 'cause Billy messed up the radar box. And now their cloaking system doesn't work.
Let's combine two questions here, because I realize these two questions kind of overlap. So they discover Billy's sabotage on the radar panel. What does the mean man do about it? The mean Martian.
Voldar, who has a sort of Freddie Mercury mustache, and again is ripped as hell.
For the 60s, anyways. Yes.
Yeah, for the 60s. You know
what? But before we continue on to what Voldar does, this spaceship that's following them never catches them, and we never hear from them again. Or of them to the whole rest of the movie, because we just go and focus on Voldar trying to off these kids and Santa Claus.
Yeah, because the UN is all like, we've united like the world governments at the end of Watchmen to go find Santa Claus. War is over. Peace is here. We must come together to save Santa. And then that plot line goes absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, I even have it in my notes here. The answer to question number 8 is they discover Billy's sabotage on the radar panel, but don't worry about it. This is never brought up again. What does Voldar do about this sabotage? Like they obviously discover it. What is the reaction to it?
He's real grumpy, and once again he's like, I'm gonna kill these kids. So he goes and finds Santa, and the kids is like, come on a tour of the ship. Takes him to the airlock, which Billy knows a shocking amount about airlock.
Yeah, Billy spends 5 minutes explaining how an airlock works.
Now, this wasn't a time where the audience was presumed to be the dumbest they've ever been.
You're right. It was just because they probably didn't think anyone would know what an airlock was.
Right.
So,
they wouldn't get to the moon until a year after this movie was released.
True.
But also, like, whoever wrote this movie didn't know anything about anything. He probably was like, "Oh man, I gotta stun these people with at least one fact," and he went all in on airlocks.
Yeah, he bought an entire book about airlocks. I was like, I'm not letting this go to waste. This is an important plot point. So Voldar shoves them in an airlock, and Santa's all like, oh, I'm not worried. Voldar goes back up to the cockpit and starts opening the airlock.
Which takes how long to open?
60 seconds.
60
yep.
seconds exactly.
And within 60 seconds, Billy's like, the air vent, to which they use that to escape. And I don't know what your next question is, Roger, but I want to blow through this because I know we don't care about time, but we are running a little long.
Oh, yeah.
So that's when Kimar is like, where are the children? Even though Voldar told him exactly what he was going to do, try to kill these kids.
Starts beating Voldar to death.
He's like, they're in the airlock, but no one's in the airlock anymore. Or no, Kimar comes in, he's like, who's in the airlock? He's like, no one now. And then they get into the best cinematic fight scene since the Star Trek fight between
Stunning.
yeah.
Gorn and Kirk. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
It was very, very convincing. There's a fight later in the movie too between the same two characters that's just as convincing, where the punches are literally them just holding their fist to their head. Like, it's like, I just punched him. My fist was just here because I swung at him.
We all know what a punch looks like. This is an
convincing.
airlock, and this is a punch.
You see, Santa Claus essentially uses his chimney magic.
I wrote the same words!
Very Violent Night-esque to go out through the airlock vent and survive with the kids.
Yes, it's also the only time. Well, I think Kimar's like, but the air vents is this big. He kind of suggests that the kids could fit, but Santa Claus couldn't. And it's the only time they ever allude to Santa Claus magic.
Right. So that's really funny that you said chimney magic, because that's exactly what I wrote.
It was super chimney magic.
Yeah, uses chimney magic to zoom them through the air ducts and escape the airlock. Now, here's a note. This isn't a question. It's just a note. But Voldar is put into the prison cell for this. But as they land back on Mars, they find that he has escaped. But we'll get back to that later. Question number 10. The Earthlings are introduced to the Martians. There is a really awkward laughing sequence. But the fun and game ends when Santa learns about what? Jett?
Oh, yeah, Santa's all like, sure, I'll make some toys and I'll deliver a present. I'll be your Martian Santa. And then I'll get that done and then get back to Earth in time for Christmas Eve. And the Martian, Kimar, who's like, really, all of the Martians have become quite endeared to Santa Claus in this time. They all love the dude now.
Right.
But Kimar is still like, no, Santa, you're never leaving Mars.
Xavier?
Yeah, he finds out that this is his forever home. And he's going to be pushing buttons for the rest of his life.
That is correct. There is a very dire moment where, Kimar. I always want to call him Vicar. Wow. Kimar, gets really dire, really low, and he's like, that's this thing, Santa Claus. You're never leaving Mars. and it's like, oh my gosh.
And Santa kind of just goes like, oh man.
Well,
that just goes with it.
That's no good. Okay, now, here's another note. Cut to a Martian cave where we find the criminal, Voldar, and his two henchmen, but again, more on that later. Question number 11 is, the workshop, while mostly automated, only makes 7 different toys. Can you name those toys, Jett?
Oh my god. Oh, this is tough. Oh, that's great. Bat. Train. Doll.
Well, that's 3.
That is 3. 4 more. Boat?
Oh, teddy bears.
Teddy bears is 1, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, teddy bears.
Cars?
Cars is another one.
Is a tennis racket another one? Because that's what the bat gets morphed with.
So, funny enough, they don't make tennis rackets. There's not a shoot for tennis rackets.
So that's 5, yeah.
What about, guns? Because they had little pop guns.
Funny enough, there were little pop guns. There was no shoot for that. So I'm going to go ahead and call that a prop mistake.
There were little pop guns that had like the orange tips on it, which I thought was odd. I mean, just for Martians in general who don't have Tommy guns, I don't know what the worry was. I can't think of any other toys.
That's all I can think
Okay,
of.
so there was. I'm gonna say these in order. On the wall that they were laid out: ball, bat, doll, car, teddy bear, tool, trains.
Wait, tool?
You just activated the Winter Soldier, I think.
You said tool was one of them?
Tools.
Oh, tools.
Streetcar, Rust,
Yeah.
Only
Basil.
one. I mean, for
49.
the 60s,
42.
they only had one feminine toy in there. Well, I guess two with a teddy bear, but that's it's kind of sexist.
Yeah. Well, this was 1968. Question number 12. Voldar and his goons have a Three Stooges routine to sabotage the workshop, and they end up kidnapping Santa. But something feels off. What's wrong with this, Santa? Jett?
Well, you see, in the middle of the Martian night, which I believe Martian days are called souls. Don't know what Martian nights are called. But in the middle of the Martian night, our Dumbo Martian Dropo sneaks down and puts on a spare Santa suit that Kimar's wife created, stuffs a pillow in the pants and starts pretending to be Santa, and that's the Santa that those Oogie Boogie's boys come and capture by accident.
Xavier, do you have
Yes.
anything to say about this?
How did you phrase the question?
What's wrong with this Santa?
Oh, he's got a freaking green helmet.
Hey,
sticking out of his
he's
head.
wearing the same helmet that they're wearing.
He's clearly a Martian.
He's
He's very, very clearly
Very
another Martian.
clearly a
Like,
Martian.
I was telling Roger last night, I can't imagine half of these actors taking this movie for what it was. Like, these are serious actors, and they're like, why would we not know this is one of us? He's wearing the same headpiece, but
All the Martians, I
knows?
want to note, all the Martians are quite tall. And maybe that's just because the only other characters are two children and a very short Santa Claus.
Right.
But they're all kind of huge.
well, and then there's the freakishly tall one whose arms look like they go past his knees. Who's the guy who
dude.
pulls all the levers in the spaceship?
Yeah,
I don't see him.
Rick-
don't
He's
think
sitting
so.
down
Again,
for our
so-
safety for most of the movie.
Yeah.
I have
Um,
Rigna written down as tall Martian, so
So
it's
yeah,
probably
so
Slender Man out there.
the Santa is weird because it's Dropo. He uses a pillow to stuff a fake Santa Claus suit and assumes the identity of Santa Claus. Now, get ready for the weirdest question that this show has ever had, okay? And I need y'all to really,
Okay.
really hang with me. Question number 13. As the workshop is now making freakish chimera toy abominations, Voldar and Stobo confront Kimar about their hostage Santa, who is secretly Dropo, being guarded by Shim. How are they defeated?
Oh my god.
I lost track of the question halfway
Yeah.
through it.
Imagine writing it.
I think well, Kimar's like, you don't have Santa. We've got Santa. And then there's a extended fist fight.
Okay.
And
There's a
it's-
follow up fist fight, and then the
At some
children
point,
attack
Kimar-
with toys. Are we that
Oh.
far? Are we that far?
Yeah.
Uh,
No,
we
this is-
are that far.
And then there's that weird cut where the guy's like, "Wait a minute, you're not here. You're in there," talking to Dropo dressed as Santa Claus. And he's like, "I'm gonna see who he's fighting in there." And he peeks in, and then it cuts drastically, just so that he could have a ball in his mouth, because I guess they couldn't figure out how to do that.
Right.
It's a sort of
practically.
end of Toy Story 1, the toys retaliate
Against Sid, right?
sort of scene. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
The
uh,
four children on this whole planet rebel against Voldar and attack him with all the toys.
Just relentless sort of
It's nightmarish.
torment.
Yeah,
it's really
It's kind of
it's
a
like the
scary
dream
scene.
sequence in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. It's
So-
really ominous.
So the answer I've written down here is the children beat the ever-living shit out of Voldar with an armory of toys as Santa laughs maniacally.
Santa doesn't do anything.
No, he's having a great time though, just watching this guy get his life wrecked.
I think at one point he does catch like a little what were those things called? Those you take two sticks and put them together and you can toss them like a glider. There we go. He catches a glider and he's like, hey, and throws it back at him. I think that's the only thing he throws that hits Voltar. So
right. So as we stated before, Dropo escapes imprisonment and appears at the workshop where Santa proclaims what? Jett?
I think he proclaims, "You don't need me. You've already got a perfectly good Santa."
Okay, Xavier?
Yeah, he's dang it, Jett. You're like the most accurate guess that we've had.
Yeah. Even people who have taken notes in the past have not done as well at these questions as you have.
Yeah, I think usually at most they'll answer like 70% of them correctly. I don't even remember these movies, but as I listen to them answer, I'll be like, oh, that's right. It was this. You've just gotten all of them right, and I have nothing to add but this little rant.
Yeah.
Basically just like, I'm so flattered. Basically just says that Dropo, who's done nothing of any competence the entire film, is a perfectly acceptable Santa Claus for Mars.
Right. That Mars doesn't need Santa. They've got a great Santa right here. And Dropo calls himself Dropo Claus, which is going to be my new rap name moving forward. Last question, and I'm so sorry that we've taken so long to get here. But question number 15. Santa and the kids are all ready to get back to Earth, and they say their goodbyes. Jett, what might that have sounded like?
Well, I believe the Earth children ask, "Do you ever think we'll meet again?" And the Martian wife says, "I'm sure you will, children." And then Santa Claus, as they leave, delivers his classic line, "Goodbye, dear friends. Away!" He says it twice. Away!
Yes, and then they take off in the Martian spaceship with no chauffeur. Santa just, he figured out, pushing all those toy buttons, he figured out how to fly a Martian spacecraft, and now they're headed back. They'll probably be intercepted by that
by the
that
one
UN
Earth
spaceship that's been following them. They must know where they went because they were captured by Martians. So.
Right. He even says it in the newspapers. Okay, this is another thing I wanted to mention. The news in this world,
say it very, very
just on top of everything.
Yeah, competent. There we go.
Like the second something happens, there are papers about it.
And I think they do say that Mrs. Claus confirmed that Martians kidnapped Santa.
Yeah,
so
just could you imagine reading the fucking headline in 1968? Martians kidnapped Santa Claus. That would put people in comas. Okay.
Yeah.
Like.
They think the train was gonna hit him through the screen. You know that?
Exactly.
They thought a bear was gonna grab him halfway through this movie.
Oh my gosh, such chaos. So before we move on to actually sequalizing, is there anything specific about the movie you want to talk about?
I'm really stunned. I mean, probably the best through line of the film is that Santa Claus is like uber charismatic and can make anyone kind of like charmed and so on by his jolly ways. I'm shocked by how little actual adversarial combat there is between Santa Claus and the Martians. It's all very amicable.
I'm surprised at the lack of conquering done by Santa Claus.
No conquering at all.
I would have loved to have seen Santa riding into Mars on a sleigh with his army of elves just taking over all these people.
If this movie
like, I am now your
ended
ruler.
with Santa planting a flag into the chest of a Martian, I would have walked away happier.
That's kind of what I thought the movie was. I didn't realize quite how child audience skewed it was.
Right.
So Jett, I didn't obviously I didn't discuss this with you, but whenever I asked Roger if we had a movie picked, and he told me that you suggested two movies. He didn't tell me what the first one was because he just went straight into Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. And so I decided to look it up to see if it was on Tubi so we can screen share it while we watched it. And it was. But right next to it was Santa Claus versus the Devil. And I was like,
hell!
yeah.
Literally.
So I clicked on it. I clicked on it to see, what it was about. It was made in 1959, so like about 10 years before this movie.
Earlier.
And it opens, and halfway through the beginning credits, because back then it was all the credits were at the very beginning. Those credits that no one sits through at the very end of the movie unless you're watching Marvel. All those used to be at the very beginning, and halfway through that, I realized, oh, this is all in Spanish. Like it must be like a Mexican movie. And it opens up, and it's just talking about Santa's workshop. And this one did something different, which I wish this movie would have done, which was have children be the helpers as opposed to like little people. But it immediately got very racist because it started out with African children, and you could just picture that in your head. But I will say the production value for like the devil and stuff in this was actually pretty high. And as I was watching it, when they introduced the devil in there, I realized I've totally seen this before on like I'm pretty sure this is like a classic movie that they play on Spanish television networks all the time. I couldn't sit through the first 15 minutes of it though because it was too much. But the cave in this movie, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, resembles hell a lot in that movie. So maybe
it's the same set.
Yeah, they could have just been reusing sets.
Maybe. Crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so Jett, the way this is gonna work is you've had not as much time as most of our guests to think up what a sequel might consist of, but I'm gonna bounce between you and Xavier basically to get an idea of the to sequalize. So as a guest, I'm gonna ask you, how does the beginning of the sequel start?
Okay. I want to utilize many of the strange mysteries.
You've taken on a dark tone,
film.
Jett. Please, you're scaring me.
No, you should be scared. The movie begins. What year was this movie released?
68, I think.
The movie begins. It's a Star Wars-esque space shot. And we pan down onto the planet of Mars, and a little date card, comes up in the corner that says Mars 1968. And an American or a UN ship flies into frame, into atmosphere, and we see a sequence of Earth soldiers dropping in to Mars, and just going to town, like, rampaging through the cities of these gone soft Martians, and we don't know what's happening. It's screams and explosions and bloodshed, and finally we see a foot sort of like plant onto the chest of a Martian, and an American soldier rips off their helmet, gun aimed, and says, "Where's Santa Claus?"
Can I?
Not knowing that everything had been peaceful, and thus begins the Earth-Martian Cold War, as both sides begin developing and preparing for an eventual conflict that will surely go down.
Can I suggest a slightly alternate version of that?
What you got?
So, all of that, the spaceship coming in, soldiers dropping in, and they start going across the planet, going through the cities, looking for people, only to find everyone's already dead.
Oh.
Turns out, Dropo, all the power has gone to his head. He's gone completely insane. He's murdered all of the adults and only left the children to work in his workshop.
You know what kind of works about this is that it would have taken an Earth craft years to arrive at Mars.
Yes.
Right? So they wouldn't have known. Because it takes what, like 4 years or whatever to get to Mars.
Man, you can make a number up, and I'll believe you.
So yeah, I love that. In the time that this Earth craft has been going on this what they think is a rescue mission, Dropo has been on Mars trying to be Santa Claus, and he's ended up just destroying the place. Sort of
Now-
like the AI that is set to create paper clips and ends up using up all material in the known universe to do so.
So is Xavier? I'm jumping back to you for a second. Dropo has somehow annihilated all life on Mars. Is that what you're saying?
No, just the adults.
Oh,
The
just
children are
adults.
still alive, but they're his slaves now.
Okay.
Okay, no, this is perfect. Do you want to know why?
Go ahead.
The Santa Claus that conquered the Martians was Dropo. It was never. It was all foreshadowing. It was never our Santa Claus. It was this imposter
Oh.
Claus.
So the
that-
name
that
of the first
actually-
movie was in itself a foreshadowing of its own sequel.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the idea of Santa Claus is what conquers these people. Now,
Essentially, yeah. Because I think that you could. We've seen examples in Santa Claus Conquers the Martians of essentially the Martians trying to do like Earth things, but not really getting what's at the heart of it. Very Nightmare Before Christmas.
right.
So I think you kind of have a worst case scenario, you know? Like if in Nightmare Before Christmas, Jack Skellington hadn't ever, repented and had kept the position of Santa, and like Oogie Boogie had killed Santa Claus, and, you just end up with this yearly sort of reign of terror, completely thinking he's in the right place. I think that's Dropo,
Okay.
So you end up with a planet that's been essentially under the tyrannical rule of Dropo Claus for decades, and the little children Bomar and Gurmar are trapped in this tyrannical rule.
Especially since Dropo in the first movie had a unhealthy kind of obsession with these kids.
It's
Oh yeah.
definitely
I
true.
mean, he must
So,
have been
yeah.
like the housekeeper or something.
I don't know what
don't
Dropo
know.
was. He was just kind
Whenever
of there.
the wife comes in, she's like, "Is the master home?" So like, obviously, he was some kind of servant to them. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So no, I like that. So yeah, I think probably we leave the fate of the Earth astronauts mysterious, right? We don't know what eventually happens to them,
Oh, so they show up on
until-
Mars. All the adults are gone,
All the adults are dead. It's
And then
under
it's-
Santa Claus law.
and then we cut away.
We cut away to like it would be like if you do like 20 years later, you can make it a Stranger Things-esque 80s period piece.
Ooh, wait, hold on.
Uh,
This brings me to my next question. X.
Yeah.
Do the kids get like put down at a certain age?
I was thinking about that, but man, yeah,
I think-
yeah, I guess so, because otherwise, they're. I mean, if 20 years pass, there'd be too many adults. So yeah, I think he kills off the ones that get too old only after they can, procreate more children for him.
Wait, can I suggest
Uh,
something?
Yeah,
Just an island of misfit toys that is actually just an island of adults meant to breed for more children.
Yes.
see, because I was also
I
going
like
to suggest that the two kids from the two Martian kids from the first one are trying to lead a resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
I think
yeah.
the main crux of our plot needs to be the reunion between Billy and Betty Foster and the Martian children Bomar and Gurman, specifically because of the foreshadowing line, "Do you ever think we'll meet again? I'm sure you will, children."
Yes.
We have to use that. So I think we cut back to Earth, and it's Billy and Betty. They're all grown up. It's the 80s.
Billy
And-
is working Wall Street. He's essentially like a Patrick Bateman. Betty is, I don't know, I don't know.
Well, I think the thing that would make the most sense for Billy is that he's an aerospace engineer.
I legit was gonna say they're both astronauts or something.
They've gotta be.
Well, yeah, because
right?
Billy wanted to be a spaceman when he grew up. So hopefully he wasn't on the Challenger, though.
You know what? Maybe we could do sort of we could do like a Hallmark thing, because we've got to make this Christmassy as well, right?
Oh no.
So we could do Billy has essentially gone the way of Susan from Narnia, where he's kind of written off all this strange event from his past and kind of no longer believes in Santa or Christmas or anything.
Yeah, I was thinking
and
that
he's gone
as well.
all into his studies. Meanwhile, Betty, who at the beginning of the first movie was all like, like fawning about Santa Claus being real and so on. Betty is like gone into like the toy making industry, right? And or maybe she's like a Christmas party planner, something Hallmarky,
Or maybe Santa left Mrs. Claus for Betty, and
oh no,
now she
no,
runs the workshop.
Oh no!
I'm gonna veto that.
You could maybe say that she works for Santa in some way, or maybe you make Santa more of a distant presence.
Well, it's the 80s, so like marketing, in the 60s marketing really took off, but in the 80s it was like that was one of the highest level positions you could hold. So she's now the marketing executive for Santa.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, she got him the contract with Coca-Cola along with that polar bear.
Yeah,
I think at this point, Billy and Betty are definitely kind of estranged, because Billy's sort of rejection of the whimsy and childishness, he sees Betty as still this, basically like just an adult kid, in an exact inversion of the Martian children from the first movie.
Right.
She's an adult in body, but there's got to be some kind of like he probably thinks that the trauma of their childhood stunted her development. So I think in this you get your two main character arcs for the film, with Billy needing to regain some Christmas spirit and Betty perhaps needing to
be more grounded,
grow up.
Yeah, kind of deal with her trauma and grow up a little bit without losing that joy.
Xavier, how do Billy and Betty, I guess how do they reconcile their differences and agree to go back to Mars?
It's the anniversary of their parents' death. They're meeting for dinner at Betty's home, which is a lot more quaint than Billy's lavish mansion. I gotta be honest here.
We gotta start calling this man Bill. He's a grown man.
All right.
Oh, true. Yeah.
So they meet at Betty's quaint little apartment, and they're enjoying dinner, turning into an argument about literally all of that character development we just discussed. And that's when the door blows open, and it's Winky holding a baseball bat. He says, "Hey,
I've received a transmission.
There's shit
from
going
Mars."
Down." We got some word from Mars. Santa has already made his way out there, but he needs your help. You're the only two humans who have ever set foot on Mars, so we need you to kind of like guide this rescue mission. I keep going back to Alien 2 on almost all of these sequels. It turns into like an Alien 2 kind of rescue mission.
Okay, let's speed things along here. Between this, the inciting moment, and let's say like a climax or a plot twist, what is some rising action that you would like to see, Jett?
It's gotta be, I like the idea of Santa being like a force in the background that you don't actually get to see for most of the movie. So I think there's going to be this tension between Bill and Betty, where like Bill probably doesn't even think Santa's actually here, and Betty has faith and so on. And Bill's like, if we go to Mars and Santa's not there, like this is a suicide mission. But Betty's all like, have some faith in Christmas magic, blah blah blah. They definitely go to Mars. They find they're like maybe in the middle of like they're about to get caught and executed by Dropo Claus's children minions. The adult Bomar and Gurmar come through and save them. And that's where you get into your full-on Terminator-esque underground rebellion.
Can we add an element of
What you got?
Krampus into this?
Oh,
Okay.
what
maybe
you got in mind?
Like Dropo's created like a little hybrid creature to hunt down adults that pop up.
it is a
And so
robot
he-
though, right?
Hell yeah! No, he has to have like reformatted
Torg.
Torg into like a robot Krampus adult hunter who goes out. I think that's the thing.
Adult
Dropo
hunter.
thinks he's Dropo thinks he's completely altruistic through all of this, right? He thinks this is what Christmas spirit is, and he thinks that adults just don't get it. They don't
ruin
have the
magic.
Christmas
Yeah.
spirit. I think he probably killed all of the. It's got to be this mystery, like, why did Dropo do this? And you eventually find out it's because all of the adults didn't believe in Santa, and didn't have the Christmas spirit because they're all communists.
And this is when we
Or
discover
something.
that Dropo was actually on the autism spectrum. So he only had the mind development of a child,
Oh,
and
it's
thus
all
that's why he's
extremes.
allowed to live.
Oh.
Hmm.
Now, okay, hold on. Before we continue, what is a twist? Really slap me in the face with a twist. Either one of you, doesn't matter.
Now, does there
Um,
need to be a twist? Because we've already established so many aspects of this movie. I think a twist is just kind of throwing a wrench into it.
I think it's a pretty straightforward action flick. Sort of you're gonna have like maybe you can sort of like move through the sort of Aliens franchise. Because I mean, like, initially as the Bill and Betty are getting hunted by the robot Krampus Tor, that's where you get your like, Alien 1 sort of horror.
Wait, hold on. Instead of Tor being reprogrammed into this Krampus kind of monster, what if Dropo makes like a genetic creature that is like a Krampus, right?
Easily could.
But the actual Santa Claus reprogrammed Tor to be his like companion on his mission back to
Oh,
Mars.
right, because Torg was left on Earth.
Yeah, perfect. No,
And then we could see Torg fight a Krampus.
Yeah, this is
No,
good.
absolutely.
That's great.
I think it goes pretty straightforward. As I think, Betty's immaturity kind of, causes them problems and gets them almost killed a few times. But at the same time, Billy also sees the positive effects of Betty exhibiting the same kind of goodwill and optimism that Santa Claus did in the first movie, in endearing some of Dropo Claus's child slaves to their cause. And as she kind of moves through with this sort of Paddington-esque optimism, Billy sees the positive effects that it's having on Mars. I think Billy, throughout a lot of the movies, like, we just need to take off and nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. This is hopeless. There's, Santa Claus isn't coming. We've got nothing. But that's Bill's character development over the movie as he sees Betty's optimism. And eventually it comes down to, I think, probably a big moment where it's like a final raid on Dropo's North Pole. Billy's like, we can get in there and do this, but we have no way out. And Betty's just like, Santa Claus will be there.
Just as a question, during their raid on the North Pole, how many child slaves do they kill?
I think Bill probably wants to, and Betty vehemently refuses. I feel like that's it. You have sort of a Daredevil Punisher thing, where Bill keeps trying to do what has to be done, but Betty is like consistently like, stopping him from doing
I've got
They
it.
kill plenty of them with kindness.
I got it. There's a moment where an army of them, like, standing in rows, are standing between Betty and Bill and the workshop, and they're in a position of like, we gotta cut our way through these kids, And, Betty's like, oh, I don't want to. Like, we can't do that. That's terrible. And Bill's like, we have to do what we have to do. Like, this is for the sake of, the planet. And from behind them, we see Winky pop up with what looks to be a cannon. It is enormous. It's much wider than it is like tall, I guess. And he's pulling this massive spring with all of his weight back and back and back, and he tells them, "You two should get down." And they duck, and he lets go of the spring, and it's basically a giant gun, a Martian gun that they had from the first film. And this entire army of children gets frozen in place.
Yes!
And that's how they can go around killing the kids.
Because Winky has been a Martian the entire time.
There's the twist!
He was a Martian in the very beginning who left Mars and went to Earth because he saw the Earth television and he believed in Santa Claus.
He's actually a Martian child. He's not even...
Yeah. He's still a kid.
Not even a little person. He's just...
I think that's what you do. So he understands the Martian technology. He's back. The children are all frozen. Dropo's like, "What? You can't do this. You're going to ruin Christmas." And then frickin' Santa's sleigh, with rockets on it.
Because they did hint at that
at the beginning of the first one. Yeah.
And I think Santa says, "Ho, ho, ho, Dropo. You did that yourself long ago, but you can still make it right."
Away!
Away!
I think this is where Dropo Santa starts getting to him. He starts to have his change of heart. But then, from the sewers, the genetically engineered Krampus starts crawling out of the sewers. And right as Dropo is starting to realize, like, what I've been doing is wrong, in that moment, Dropo grows up.
Hey.
And bioengineered Krampus turns on Dropo as he does with all adults and eviscerates Dropo.
All right.
And Santa's like, "No," he tries to stop it, but he can't do much. Dropo's folly has already gotten to him. It's too late. And then the Krampus turns his eyes towards Bill. Has he gained his childlike spirit?
Wait.
Does he believe in Santa?
I'm sure he does now because Santa's standing right next to him. He's like, "Oh yeah, I completely blocked all that trauma
reality. Santa's an objective reality, but do you believe in the idea of Santa and the childlike spirit?
This has to be like the ending to Violent Night, where they have to believe in order to save him. So, and that's when Santa turns to Bill and he's like, pats him on the shoulder and says, "I believe in you. Do you believe in me?"
That's
"Do
good.
you believe in me, Bill?" And that's when Bill turns to him and says, "You can call me Billy."
Yes! Yes! And then the Krampus monster, with everyone around having the childlike spirit that it's programmed to acknowledge, sits down and starts wagging his tail, and Santa goes over and starts rubbing his head.
He gives him a piece of fruit.
And gives him a fruit pill, if nothing.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, true.
At least a pill.
I don't know if you guys know this, but the way to defeat Krampus is just to offer him a piece of fruit, and then he'll engage you in polite conversation and leave. So,
look at that.
Santa knows this because he's Santa, so he gives him
This is standard Krampus lore.
Yes.
Folks, I think we made a sequel.
I think so.
Yeah.
The children unfreeze, and the planet of Mars, now free, rejoices.
We gotta put Krampus in the airlock, though. That's gonna send him out into space. All right, that was fantastic. I loved that. That was gorgeous. Jett, thank you so much for being on our special Christmas episode.
Thank you for having me, boys.
It's super good to talk to you again. It's been a few years since we've actually had interaction, so this was a good way to to get our our red swordfish juices flowing.
Absolutely.
Do you have anything that you want to directly plug to the audience?
Well, my goodness. I would say, if you're interested in engaging in a little bit of childlike wonder yourself, if you haven't become so cold and callous in your adult years as our good repented friend Billy did, perhaps go to youtube.com and search up Jett Kuso, JETTKUSO, or youtube.com/Jett Kuso, and watch some of my fun, nostalgic toy videos. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Wonderful. So yeah, thank you for joining us. Xavier, do you have any housekeeping to take care of?
Sure, yeah. If you guys enjoyed this episode, we do have other episodes. You can go ahead and check those out if you enjoy those. You know what? Even before you check those out, why don't you just give us a follow, and then you can check them out, and then you can listen to every other one we release after this. And if you've been listening to us, we greatly appreciate you. Tell friends about it. You're not telling your friends about it, and it's very disappointing.
You've been very naughty.
Yes, Krampus will come after you if you don't tell a friend about us after this
it's
episode.
the only way. It's the only way to be sure.
And Dropo, which I
Yeah.
think is scarier than Krampus. But
I agree. Oh wait,
so
you know
yeah.
we didn't come up with a title for this sequel, but Jett did say something
Mars
earlier.
conquers Santa Claus.
Jett did say Dropo's Folly, which I think does make a good Dropo's Folly.
Yeah, would it be Santa Claus conquered the Martians, Dropo's Folly?
Such a long title.
That
but
is
yes,
a very
let's go
long
with
title.
that.
It's perfect.
But yeah, just spread the word if you're enjoying this, because we enjoy making it, and we'd enjoy to keep making it for you. Not that we're gonna stop if you don't listen to it, but
Right.
just keep listening to it, and you won't miss any of it.
I personally want to thank Peyton Pedkis for the intro and outro theme. At the beginning of this episode, you'll notice that he made a special Christmas theme for us, which was
Oh my god.
extremely amazing. He did it very, very quickly. But yes, thank you to him, and thank you all for listening, for being here, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and other holidays that you celebrate. I know Hanukkah came up like 2 days ago, as of this
Yeah.
recording, and yes, have a safe holiday season. Drink responsibly, and get some nostalgia if you can, where you can get it. All right, everybody. I've been Roger.
And I've been Xavier.
And I've been Jett.
And we'll see you next year on part 2.
The sequel.
Continued!
Away! I really thought we were all going to keep doing that.